Lexington, North Carolina, an hour north of the Queen City. Once a furniture town, now known for its barbecue. It can all be traced back to two people.
For the most part, anybody that still cooks Lexington-style barbecue can be traced back to Jess Swicegood or Sid Weaver.
It started back long before we were here at the courthouse with Sid and Jesse, and they were cooking for people in the county that had to come to the courthouse.
They were the originals, and somehow, in some way, every one of us can trace our barbecue lineage back to them.
Everybody learned from somebody that started with Jess Swicegood or Sid Weaver.
Swicegood and Weaver were really considered the original cooks in town. And the funny part is they were a block away cooking for several people, where we now serve over 150,000 on festival day.
There's so much rich history here of two men that had a vision.
Thanks to Sid and Jesse, Lexington-style barbecue is now known nationwide. But what exactly is it?
Lexington barbecue is a little different. One, we cook on hickory and oak coals. They smoke for 8 to 10 hours. We don't put any type of rub on the outside, make just a little bit of salt. And then we don't use sauce, we call it dip. It's a little bit thinner, it's a ketchup vinegar based, and it permeates all the way through the meat. It doesn't lay thick on the top.
It's the tradition of the way we've cooked it, the open fire, the pit, and the way we made our sauce over the times. Just the way we made it over the years. And you go out of Lexington, they don't make it like that.
We use the shoulder. That's because back when all this really started in the early part of the 20th century, the hog farms were in the eastern part of the state. It was easier to transfer just the whole shoulder to our area as opposed to transferring whole hogs. I mean, Lexington barbecue is so good because it takes so long, and it's crafted. It's not put in a machine and done quickly.
Well, I think all the barbecue is really good, but we pride ourselves in the way we do it, and there are a lot of good places out there though, but we think ours is the best.
And he's not the only one. It became so popular, a few people decided to start something that would take Lexington by storm.
The very first barbecue festival was in the mid-'80s, and of course no one thought it was going to be anything like it is today. It started out as being just barbecue and Pepsi, and we were just amazed at the crowd it drew, and it became the biggest day of our year very quickly.
I think one of the neat things about the festival, and one of the reasons why it's been so successful, is the same people have been involved with this for 37 years. 3 people started this 37 years ago. One was Kay St. Sing, one was Joe Sink from the Dispatch, and then a person from BB&T. All 3 got together and decided we needed to celebrate barbecue, and that's what they've done. Unfortunately, Kay passed away suddenly several years ago, and in her memory and her honor, her daughter Stephanie took that over, and Stephanie's done a wonderful job.
It was really an honor for me to continue her memory, and that's kind of what propels me. Is this is an incredible event for the city, but it's also a way for me to keep my mom's legacy alive. So when we first started in 1984, they estimated about 30,000 people attended, which was an incredible number for the first year. And so I think from the get-go it was a true success. But this festival is about barbecue, of course, being the star of the show, but also about the people. I think for me that's been the greatest gift, is the relationships that we've created, whether it's with our vendors or our volunteers, our entertainers, with city officials. It's just been an incredible opportunity to get to know people and continue those relationships.
With the festival growing, it quite literally put Lexington on the map.
An idea that Kay St. Sing had. She saw the trains going through town, and she thought, well, those trains could stop and let people off for the barbecue festival. And she approached the NCDOT Rail Division about stopping the trains here, and it was quite an undertaking to get all the approvals necessary. By the early 1990s, it was established.
We are a North Carolina train host, and to make the stop happen for the barbecue festival, we asked other train host volunteers to come and help. They ride the train from where they get on to Lexington, so they're helping the passengers on the train, and then when they get to Lexington they can provide information about the barbecue festival. The only festivals that I'm aware they do is the barbecue festival and the state fair, and so for the Barbecue Festival to be, even with the state fair, that we can get that stopped, I think is really important, and we should be proud of that.
The city of Lexington had been working since 2004 to get approval for an Amtrak station here in Lexington, and that approval came several years ago. And then the funding for the station came in form of a federal grant just this past month, $25 million. So we think that this is another example where the Barbecue Festival has put this town literally on the map.
The festival has a huge economic impact to our community. Just a few years back, our agency actually conducted a study. We had a group come in to do a research study just so that we could have some hard data to prove what the festival does for the community economically. From that study, we realize now that the economic impact to the community for that one-day event, because we're talking about a one-day festival that brings about 200,000 people to town for that one-day event, the economic impact is about $9 million. That is more than $2 million in revenues from the residents of Lexington-Davidson County, but that's $7 million that outsiders bring to our town for that event. So that's a huge economic boost to the community.
So you can get to the Barbecue Festival by plane, train, or automobile, but what can you expect when you arrive?
There are so many different things that we have to offer. It's the small town feel. I always tell people, groups when they come, or people just in general when they come to visit us, that we have so many assets in our town. The barbecue, everyone wants to experience Lexington style barbecue. There's nothing like it anywhere in the world. The uptown atmosphere, the small town, all of the businesses that are in our town that have been in business for a number of years. So there are so many different things to see and do while you're in Lexington, but probably the best thing about Lexington are our people.
I've lived in Lexington with my wife for 40 years. Been involved since the first barbecue festival as a spectator, but really involved as a volunteer for the last 20 years. Kay Saint Sing, the originator, the creator of the festival, came to me and said, "What part would you like to play in the barbecue festival?" And I said, "I'll do anything you want me to do." And she said, "Well, how about taking charge of the stages with your United Way volunteers, and we might want you to do some MC work too." And I said, "I'd be happy to do that."
The very first time I ever performed at the Barbecue Festival, it was back when the Barbecue Festival just started, 1984. Breakdancing was a big thing in the 80s. And I was a dancer, I was a breakdancer. I don't know who came up with the idea, maybe it was Kay, I don't know. But it was a great idea to put cardboard up on Main Street and allow folks to come up and breakdance. And so we just kind of had a moment, a time where anybody could get up and dance and do some breakdancing. And I can probably remember quite a few that I knew, and it was just a great time. But that was my very first performance at the Barbecue Festival.
I remember the very first one, actually. I remember taking my oldest daughter in a stroller down the streets of Lexington for the Barbecue Festival. And it's just such an exciting time. My family comes from all over the United States, family from other states, to Lexington on Barbecue Festival Day just because of the festival.
I'm sitting in a Nashville bar, Robert's Western World, about 3 years ago. And I have a shirt on that says Lexington Barbecue Festival. And a man comes up to me, he says, "I'm from Missouri, and I know all about your festival. I went there a couple of years ago because my wife and I have relatives in North Carolina." That's the impact of this festival. If we never had a festival, we'd still be known for barbecue, but we're known now all around the country.
The people we remember the most were a couple that came from Australia in on the train. And you would think that they were in America, they heard about the Barbecue Festival and decided to come. Actually, they left their homes in Australia to come to the Lexington Barbecue Festival. That's why they came on the train, and we got to talk to those folks, and I think those people stand out probably more than any.
The festival draws people from all over the world, and it doesn't just satisfy their appetites.
Well, through the years, the Barbecue Festival has always been this music festival as well. not just barbecue and vendors, but the music.
The festival has evolved certainly over the years. I think our 20th anniversary was huge, and then we have just had some incredible partnerships with Q104 and other sponsors, Oral's Food Service, BB&T, now Truist, to bring some amazing artists to the festival.
We've had Joe Diffie, we've had Montgomery Gentry, we've had Taylor Swift, we've had Josh Turner, we've had Jason Aldean, Darius Rucker. It's been fantastic. And the great thing is we have a lot of country artists, but it's not just country music. We appeal to everybody. We got the greatest beach bands. We've got the chairman of the board. We've had Jim Quick and Coastline. We've had the Band of Oz, so many other people. It's really become, I think, the best entertainment venue in all of North Carolina.
Some of my favorite parts of the festival are the racing pigs or the sand sculpture. People love the sand sculpture every year. We've been doing that for 20 years now. The train stopping, the arts and crafts vendors, lumberjack show, the car shows, the bicycle stunt shows, you name it, we have something for everyone here at this festival. And the best part about it is it's free admission for everyone. Lexington Barbecue Festival has been recognized many times in many ways in tons of publications. We've been featured in Travel and Leisure magazine, Garden and Gun magazine, People magazine. Lots of newspapers and certainly lots of television stations have covered us over the years. We've been a Southeast Tourism Society award-winning event for the last probably 15 years. So it's great. It's an honor to be involved with such a special event. We're especially proud to collaborate with Childress Vineyards and Bob Timberlake for the last 16 years with Fine Swine Wine. It's been a fantastic partnership.
The festival's brought people together since the 80s and will for decades to come.
You know, the festival is Lexington's signature event, but it's also an opportunity for Lexington to come together. The restaurants are coming together, joining forces to produce something that our city is known for and proud of. So that is an incredible piece of the day, but it's also about the people, it's about community, it's about all the nonprofits that are able to really work that day and raise important dollars. So I'm just proud that we've been able to do this for 36 years now. But we're disappointed that we can't be together this year for the festival, but we can't wait for October 23rd, 2021. It's going to be great.
I don't know if you're done. I'm done. I want some barbecue. I'll see you later. Thank you very much.